I am delighted to welcome you all to the 6th International Procurement and Supply Chain Conference 2021, presented by Blue Ocean Conferences.
This is the biggest gathering I've seen since the beginning of the pandemic. I congratulate you on the selection of the theme of this conference: One World, One Supply Chain, Evolution of Connected Global Supply Chain Community. As I said, it goes very well with also the theme of the Expo.
This International Procurement and Supply Chain Conference is not just a conference. IPSC has been an absolute game changer and has led to a paradigm shift in the Middle East's procurement and supply chain industry.
The outstanding leadership, operational excellence on the entire supply chain.
Hamriya Free Zone Authority is honored to be the title sponsor of this distinguished event. This falls within its commitment to become a key contributor to the UAE strategy.
How Pfizer is moving towards a responsible and sustainable global supply chain.
What kind of leadership level fits these both modes?
Even though you see AI as a challenge, if you're not ready, you are going to fail.
We're now going to meet the senior management team of the Blue Ocean family.
What you do and what you can do and what your customers actually want.
Demonstrating that certification in combination with education has a strong additional value component.
The entire supply chain is like a flock of birds. When one bird changes the direction, the entire flock changes the direction.
800 delegates, 8 hours, that's 800 man-days. If you convert that to cash, that's millions and millions. So thank you very much for that.
We shall be announcing the winners of the International Procurement and Supply Chain Awards 2021.
Warm welcome our patron and chief guest for the International Human Resource Conference, His Excellency Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan, UAE Cabinet Member and Minister of Tolerance and Coexistence. I would like to welcome all of you to the International Human Resource Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute pleasure to witness such a union of people who are ready here to share knowledge, to exchange ideas, to network with each other, and to share their vision of their own organization.
Expressing gratitude to Blue Ocean for organizing and presenting this timely conference. A conference that is destined to succeed, I'm sure. The metaverse, if developed properly, has the potential to make employees function as effectively or even more effectively than they do now in person.
Metaverse will accelerate to progress of enterprise digital and digitization in ways that were not seen before.
Before we look into the metaverse, artificial intelligence, open our eyes and look into the person sitting next to you with a lot of potential.
I will share with you some views on the role of DE and I, or DI and E, diversity, equity and inclusion,
This is his AI-enabled digital twin. And we'll have around 5 billion active users on the metaverse.
Can we return from disruption and come back into some kind of normalcy?
And IBM and my team is responsible for driving the nudges philosophy together with the digital infrastructure that we have to drive change.
You always want your employees to be happy. You always want your employees to have high energy levels, high productivity, peak levels of performance, no absenteeism. These are the ideal situations any HR head or CEO of a company look for.
What is the metaverse? It's like an online version of the new world.
We need leaders who can deal and communicate with all generations in our organization.
It is really a pleasure to host you all here because this event would not have been so grandeur without the support from all of you in here.
am delighted to welcome you all to the 6th International Procurement and Supply Chain Conference 2021, presented by Blue Ocean Conferences.
This is the biggest gathering I've seen since the beginning of the pandemic. I congratulate you on the selection of the theme of this conference: One World, One Supply Chain, Evolution of Connected Global Supply Chain Community. As I said, it goes very well with also the theme of the Expo.
This International Procurement and Supply Chain Conference is not just a conference. IPSC has been an absolute game changer and has led to a paradigm shift in the Middle East's procurement and supply chain industry.
The outstanding leadership, operational excellence on the entire supply chain.
Hamriya Free Zone Authority is honored to be the title sponsor of this distinguished event. This falls within its commitment to become a key contributor to the UAE strategy.
How Pfizer is moving towards a responsible and sustainable global supply chain.
What kind of leadership level fits these both modes?
Even though you see AI as a challenge, if you're not ready, you are going to fail.
We're now going to meet the senior management team of the Blue Ocean family.
What you do and what you can do and what your customers actually want.
Demonstrating that certification in combination with education has a strong additional value component.
The entire supply chain is like a flock of birds. When one bird changes the direction, the entire flock changes the direction.
800 delegates, 8 hours, that's 800 man-days. If you convert that to cash, that's millions and millions. So thank you very much for that.
We shall be announcing the winners of the International Procurement and Supply Chain Awards 2021.
Warm welcome our patron and chief guest for the International Human Resource Conference, His Excellency Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan, UAE Cabinet Member and Minister of Tolerance and Coexistence. I would like to welcome all of you to the International Human Resource Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute pleasure to witness such a union of people who are ready here to share knowledge, to exchange ideas, to network with each other, and to share their vision of their own organization.
Expressing gratitude to Blue Ocean for organizing and presenting this timely conference. A conference that is destined to succeed, I'm sure. The metaverse, if developed properly, has the potential to make employees function as effectively or even more effectively than they do now in person.
Metaverse will accelerate to progress of enterprise digital and digitization in ways that were not seen before.
Before we look into the metaverse, artificial intelligence, open our eyes and look into the person sitting next to you with a lot of potential.
I will share with you some views on the role of DE&I, or DI&E, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
This is his AI-enabled digital twin. And we'll have around 5 billion active users on the metaverse.
Can we return from disruption and come back into some kind of normalcy?
And IBM and my team is responsible for driving the nudges philosophy together with the digital infrastructure that we have to drive change.
You always want your employees to be happy. You always want your employees to have high energy levels, high productivity, peak levels of performance, no absenteeism. These are the ideal situations any HR head or CEO of a company look for.
What is the metaverse? It's like an online version of the new world.
We need leaders who can deal and communicate with all generations in our organization.
It is really a pleasure to host you all here because this event would not have been so grandeur without the support from all of you in here.
To give away the medals to Team Korea. Dr. Sakura,
A strong woman knows she has strength enough for the journey, but a woman of strength knows that it is in the journey that she will become strong. A very warm good morning to all of the women of strength who have gathered here to empower themselves through a journey that is yet to unfold. I am Melissa Stoop, and I am truly pleased to host you today. Without any further delay, may I invite you all to the 5th edition of BOWLD, Blue Ocean Women Leadership Development Conference. So, to begin with, may I invite Ms. Tarushi, Blue Ocean's Happiness Ambassador, to share a brief introduction about Blue Ocean Corporation.
Thank you, Melissa. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us at BOWLD 5. We are so glad to host you all for this event today. My name is Tarushi. I'm the Happiness Ambassador at Blue Ocean, and I feel so humbled and honored to have more than 180 participants, 180 women participants with us today. So before starting our conference, I want to show a small presentation to tell you what Blue Ocean is all about. Blue Ocean is an award-winning organization that has been in the industry for more than 25 years. We have a global presence in 16 plus countries with over 150,000 alumni and more than 1,600 corporate clients from whom we are receiving 100% positive feedback. I'm so proud to present our clients to you. As you can see, Blue Ocean has clients from all parts of the industry, and we are receiving a great feedback from all our clients. We have received N numbers of awards and appreciations. We have received an award for Great Place to Work. In fact, last month, we received our 4th consecutive Great Place to Work award. We have been awarded as UAE Super Brand, and we have received one of the most esteemed awards in Middle East, the Dubai Quality Awards. And Blue Ocean is the only training organization in the history of DQA to receive this award. Blue Ocean is often featured in mainstream medias for empowering individuals and organizations with the knowledge that they need to excel in their fields, and for the CSR activities that is regularly conducted by Blue Ocean. Our key verticals include consulting, training, and conferences. We provide consulting services in every sector like Lean Six Sigma, HR, and whatever you can think of. So if your company is looking for any kind of consulting services, our subject matter expert will visit your firm and provide an ongoing support in the area that needs expertise. Blue Ocean is an association with several international certification bodies, and we provide certification programs in logistics and supply chain management, procurement and purchasing, human resource and administration, quality management, project management, accounting and finance, and aviation. We also provide corporate training solutions as per the client's need, which is custom made. I'm so proud to say that Blue Ocean is a 5-star rated organization on Google, and we have received more than 6,000 plus positive feedback. Blue Ocean is never limited within the 4 walls of its classroom. We conduct international conferences, seminars, and webinars every month. Blue Ocean has successfully conducted 500 plus international seminars and more than 300 webinars. All the students of Blue Ocean can register for all these webinars for free. You can get the details by visiting our website or follow us on LinkedIn to get all the upcoming details of conferences, seminars, and webinars. Now, what do I say about BOWLD? You're all here. You all already know about BOWLD. BOWLD is Blue Ocean Women Leadership Development, which is conducted every year on International Women's Day. Our motive is to empower women, and I'm so glad to have you all again with us today. 2 of the most successful conferences conducted by Blue Ocean was IPSC and IHRC. IPSC was International Procurement and Supply Chain Conference, which had more than 800 participants, 500 plus organizations, 40 plus international speakers, and more than 20 sponsors. And the chief guest for this conference was His Excellency Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan. IHRC was conducted on one of the most demanding topics, HR Metaverse, transforming human capital digitally. This was conducted at Armani Hotel in Burj Khalifa and had more than 400 participants. Again, the chief guest for this conference was also His Excellency Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan. You can get in touch with us. We have a corporate office based in Latifa Tower, Sheikh Zayed Road, Dubai. We have office in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. In India, we have offices in New Delhi, Pune, Hyderabad, and Kochi. We have started our office in London, and next month we are starting our office in Paris as well. Thank you so much. That's all about Blue Ocean. Melissa, it's over to you.
Thank you, Tarushi. That was so specific and clear. Today, as we stand here celebrating International Women's Day, I find myself overwhelmed with emotions as I reflect on the journey undertaken so far. As we host the 5th edition of BOWLD, I would like to walk you through the various editions of BOWLD. As you can see on the screen, we have successfully hosted BOWLD in Conference 2020, 2021, 22, and 2023. The first edition of BOWLD was held physically at Crown Plaza, Dubai. However, seeing the response we received for the event, we decided to conduct the future editions virtually, to include the active participation from women around the world, surpassing the boundaries and barriers. It is so fulfilling to see so many strong women streaming from different parts of the world to be a part of BOWLD 5, which is an event fully organized by the women for the women. Each one of us gathered here is a testament to the strength, resilience, and grace that defines the essence of womanhood. In my journey here, I've witnessed incredible stories of triumph, witnessed women breaking barriers and shattering glass ceilings, and rising above every challenge that life throws their way. The organization has been the canvas on which these stories were painted, the stage where these victories were celebrated. This year, Blue Ocean Conference is here with the next edition of BOWLD, which is centered on the theme, Invest Her, a catalyst for global empowerment. We have with us some globally renowned speakers who will delve deep into the need for investing in women empowerment. May I now take a moment to welcome all the speakers to the event. We have a lot to hear from you, we have a lot to learn from you, and we have a lot to make happen. I also welcome everyone who is a part of BOWLD 5 and appreciate the effort you put in to take part in such a global event by managing all your work, and I'm sure you have already organized things so perfectly. Welcome you all to the session. So let us move on to the highlight events of the day. In a global working landscape, it is a proven fact that when women support each other, incredible things happen. So let us further know about the importance of collaborative working among women in the professional sphere. May I invite Ms. Inge van Bell for the first session of the day. Ms. Inge van Bell, a distinguished entrepreneur, is renowned for her commitment to employee engagement and remarkable leadership skills. She was recently honored as one of the 50 under 50 in the Middle East and Africa 2024. We are extremely delighted to have you with us. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Melissa, and good morning to you all. So yes, indeed, my passion is everything that is related to organizational culture, to leadership, and to employee engagement. So in the next 10 to 15 minutes, I would like to talk about the collaborative working amongst women in the professional landscape. And I would like to highlight some barriers that women encounter. But most of all, I would like to give you 3 interesting or practical and very pragmatic tips on how to break through these barriers. Because it's easy sometimes to talk about barriers and complain, but what can we do about it? So on an organizational level, but also on an individual level. So we cannot always blame others. First of all, if we want to have some change, it all starts with ourselves, right? So if you can go to the next slide, please. So this is how we can enhance leadership and professional growth for women. Now, since International Women's Day is around the corner, as you pointed out, Melissa, I would just give you a quick refresh on why gender equality is beneficial for everyone. I'm sure that the people who are here don't need to be convinced, but maybe I can give you some information that will help you convince others in your organization or in your environment. So first of all, if you look at the next slide, gender equality is good for business, society, and family. Now, first of all, for companies, why is it so beneficial for a company? Well, we're seeing a growing number of studies that show that having more women in leadership roles is actually the cause of better business results. And it's not just about diversity in talents or because women are better listeners or more compassionate. No, actually, it's exactly the role of women that leads to more productivity. And there's a very interesting Australian study that indicates that a 10% increase in women at executive roles and in one particular case, it led to a 6.6% increase of the value of the business. So that's something to think about, right? If we talk about numbers. But of course, it's not just about business, it's also about society and the family. Now, gender equality seems, as shown by many different studies, is also good for men, because men that are in a gender equal relationship, they are happier, they are healthier, they don't need to go to a psychologist or less. Their mental health is much better. And actually, it's also the case with children growing up in a family where there's more balance between the genders. Children are happier, but they also show better performance at school and also later on in their life. So I hope that I can convince you that gender equality is actually important for everyone and not just for women. Now, however, there are still a lot of barriers, as I mentioned, and as you can see on the next slide. So we need to understand or get a small understanding of what the specific barriers are. And there's actually 3 barriers. And there's a lady called Sharon Peake. She founded Shape Talent. It's a leading organization in the UK that is passionate about accelerating gender equality. And Sharon Peake, she talks about, yes, 1 second, oops. Can you still see me? Oh, yes, I lost the screen, so sorry. So she talks about 3 different barriers: societal barriers, personal barriers, and organizational barriers. Now, I only have 10 to 15 minutes, so I can't talk about the first 2 ones, but let me quickly talk about the organizational barriers. And my mission for today is now to give you those 3 tips on how to break through these barriers. So what exactly, in the next slide, what exactly can we do to break through these barriers, to enhance collaboration between women and to empower women at work? So the first one that we can do, the very first one, is to provide allyship between people, not just between women, but provide allyship with women. Whether we're a man or a woman, we can actually also give that allyship to women on the work floor. Why? Well, that's how we can dismantle the very typical stereotypes that are still at work. And we can do that on an organizational level and on an individual level. So if you look at the next slide, we show you, actually I can show you 4 tips, or I can give you 4 tips. The first 2 ones are more on an organizational level. The second 2 are on an individual level. So we see more and more organizations running inclusive leadership programs. So giving training, giving leadership models that actually encourage inclusive leadership. Competencies, they are built in their programs. Now, another trend that we're seeing, especially in Europe and also in the United States, is that we see more and more organizations starting with employee resource groups, gender employee resource groups. Initially, it was mainly meant for women, but now they are more and more open to other people too. And this is actually a very interesting and powerful mechanism in an organization to dismantle these stereotypes. Now, another thing, or 2 other things that you can do on an individual level, so that you can start with today, even if you're in meetings, or if you see that certain women give or have fantastic ideas, give them credit. We all know that kind of situations when you see a woman giving an idea and actually nobody reacts, and then 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later, there's a man coming with the exactly same idea, and that person gets the credit. Well, it's easy for you as a person, just in a gentle way, to say, I think it's a brilliant idea. And it's exactly what Susan or Melissa came up with. And actually, I'm still a big supporter of the idea, but just pointing out, not in an aggressive way, sometimes even if you might be a bit frustrated or angry, just say it in a gentle way. And actually, it's not just women who can do that. For other women also, it's a moral duty for men too. And that same moral duty counts for microaggressions. So it's about 64% of women that actually tell that they experience microaggressions at work on a very regular basis. Now, microaggressions, they're not the very typical harsh aggressions that you might imagine. It's like the small things that you get on an everyday basis that are too small to call out maybe and to go to the human resources department for. But it's all these little microaggressions that actually sabotage a lot of women at work. So just, if you see them, just call them out, especially when you're in a leadership role. You can have a huge impact as a leader on the team, on your colleagues, if you call them out and if you tell people or show people that it's actually not acceptable. And it's all these little things that really give other women a feeling of allyship. That's a very important one. Now, the second thing we can do to break through barriers is actually to give women access to opportunities. And that's shown in the next slide. Yes, indeed. So what does it mean, give access to opportunities? Well, that in the next slide, you will see the most obvious one that we can do and the most effective one is sponsorship programs. Now, sponsorship programs, it's not something that is new, but we see that more and more organizations are installing them. We also still see that there are more men than women that are getting a sponsorship program within the organization. But we do see that the impact of a sponsorship has a huge, it's really huge in the career of an employee. So if you are somebody in a leadership role, whether you are a man or a woman, actually, I would like to challenge you today, and because you really should at least have one woman in your organization that you're the sponsor of. So what would it mean, being the sponsor of a woman in your organization? Well, it's actually helping her to expand her network, showing your colleagues what incredible talents she has. And by expanding your network, it's actually, or her network, it's also just introducing her to other people, to your own network. And this is how you can really team up with that person in your organization to help her. For me, sponsorships is like the thing, one of the most important things that you can do in the organization. Also, of course, you can engage men, more and more men, and that's something that I find extraordinary, is that more and more men are supporting women in the organization. We see, unfortunately, from time to time, that actually there are more men that are ready or open to have sponsorships for a woman in the organization than women. So it's also something that a lot of women are consciously or unconsciously still not prepared to do, to support other women in the organization. So that's something that I would really encourage you to do so also as a woman. Now, the third one and last one, sorry, there's one more point, is of course making sure that there's a lot of networking possibilities. Of course, there is a typical formal networking that a lot of organizations have, and making sure that women in your organization have access to that networking, so that it's not always networking opportunities after business hours. Because we all know that it's more difficult for a lot of women to attend them because they have family duties. So make sure that you also have networking opportunities on other timings that are easier for women. Also, a lot of ladies, or a lot of men, let's say, are part of the informal mechanism or informal networkings, which makes sure that actually they are easily promoted within an organization. Now, these informal networking opportunities, why don't you also open them to women? That's also something, it's very difficult sometimes to measure them, and it's very difficult because it's not always tangible, but just make sure that you also give them to women in the organization. Now, the third barrier, or the third thing that we can do to break through these barriers, and actually it's my favorite, it's my personal favorite, and it's also, I always say it's last but not least, it's really building a family-friendly culture. So what does it mean, building a family-friendly culture? How can we do that? Well, first of all, as an organization, make sure you build in flexibility, but not just flexibility as something like, wow, we are so flexible and this is how great we are. No, actually, it should be flexibility by default. What does it mean, flexibility by default? Well, just normalize it that people can work whenever and wherever they want. Of course, COVID has helped us with that, but even then, we still see after COVID, now that everything is back to normal, we still see that a lot of organizations are going back to the completely, let's say, the culture that was in place before COVID. So please keep that flexibility mindset, and don't look up when people are asking you to if they can actually participate in meetings remotely. Another very important one is to equalize parental leave. And parental leave, it's not maternity leave, it's parental leave. This is instrumental in having that equality at work, and having that culture of family-friendly organizations. Because if you equalize that parental pay, both in time and in pay, obviously, then you can really help women to play the role they want in an organization. Most of the time, whether you just have had a child or if you adopted a child or whatever the context is, most of the time it's still going back to the traditional place where actually the main breadwinner will go back to work, and that the woman will be the one that stays at home. By equalizing parental leave, you might really be able to break through that cycle. And then 2 more things that you can do on an individual level is just practical and very easy to do, is look at the timings of your meetings. Make sure that you can organize your meetings at a timing that is family friendly. And we all know what those timings are. It will make the life of so many of your employees much easier. And the one that I really like is normalize switching off. I know it's a challenge for a lot of us. Just don't, it's really not cool anymore to have that always on culture. If people are on a weekend, if people are on a holiday, just let them switch off. It will really help them prioritize their family time. And if you as a leader can show that it's normal, that you are not always available, it will put much less pressure on your employees, and especially women. And one that I also like is like leaving loudly. So when you are leaving the office at 5 o'clock and you just leave loudly and tell them, guys, I have to go, I have to get my kids from school. This is something that people, if a leader and also if a man does that, it really helps your gender equality. I see that the time is almost up, but I'm almost finished, so that's good. So in the next slide, I just want to tell you one more thing. I really believe, and that's my personal belief, how we can really help colleagues and people on the work floor is if we can lift them, we will also rise ourselves. And if we can all do that, this will really have a huge impact. So if you would like to know more about the different barriers that women encounter on the work floor, feel free to send me an email that you will see on the next slide. And tomorrow, we will organize also another webinar together with Susan Peak from Shape Talent that will explain you more about these barriers. So I would like to thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you were able to learn something, and I look forward to the other presentations today. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Inga. That was really an insightful session. Thank you very much. So, before moving on to the next session, may I please kindly request all you beautiful women out there to switch on your cameras so that on this International Women's Day, let us see each other, let us motivate each other, and let us spread positivity. Yes, I can see many of you are switching on. Thank you.
Wilma.
I will just wait a few more seconds, about 10 more seconds. Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. Let's move ahead. So, empowering women starts with recognizing the importance of their mental health. Now, this is a driving force for personal and collective growth. Discussing the same is actually a need of the hour. Realizing the same, we are here with the first set of our panel discussions for the day. May I welcome Miss Jules, Nadine, Tima, Florence, and Miss Lama to hold a discussion on the topic investing in women's mental health, breaking stigmas and providing support. Coming to the panelists, we are extremely delighted to have a set of inspiring women to hold the session. Miss Jules MacDonald is an international infertility advocate currently holding the position of Director, Clinical Operations at M42 and Health Plus IVF.
Good morning, everyone.
Miss Nadine, the author of the book, The Stage is Yours, is a pioneering advocate of social change and positive influence.
Hello, everyone, and good morning.
Ms. Tima Shaban is a senior legal counsel currently associated with the On-Passive Technologies. Ms. Florence Di Bueno comes with 35 plus years of professional experience and is an advocate of women's empowerment and transformational leadership.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Happy International Women's Month.
The session is moderated by Ms. Lama, who is the Assistant Program Director, Human Resources and Soft Skills at Blue Ocean Corporation. I welcome all of you to the panel discussion.
Good morning. Happy Women's Day. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Okay, good morning again, everyone, and welcome to our insightful panel discussion focusing on empowering women's well-being through investing in mental health. Today, we have assembled esteemed experts who will share valuable insights regarding social determinants of mental health, supporting women's mental health at work, building equitable mental health policies and practices, and encouraging women to advocate for their own mental health at work. I'd like to extend my gratitude to all our speakers for joining us today and contributing towards breaking stigma and providing much needed support. Welcome again, everyone. And let's start our panel discussion, which I'm very excited to. Okay, I'll start actually with Dr. Jules. Dr. Jules, how can women identify signs of burnout and stress, and what actions can they take to mitigate its effects?
Firstly, thank you for inviting me. I'm very proud to be here on International Women's Day. I'm a huge advocate, not just for fertility, but for all women's health issues. So I think burnout, as women who are in leadership or have had higher roles, understand the pressure. I think that imposter syndrome is a very, very big thing for a lot of women initially as well. And that need to be perfect, that need to excel at everything and give as much as you can. And the signs start kicking in when you start feeling, you're not doing your job properly, you're tired. I guess there's a level of feeling that you're failing at things, and it's really, really difficult. I mean, I think as women, we have this expectation on us to be the best to everybody, our friends, our family, our work, and you're stretched in every direction, and we're overachievers. Most of us are. We all want to be the best at everything, and to not physically and emotionally and mentally get to that point, it's very difficult. So I think it's really important that women do look for those signs and ask for support. And whether you don't feel you can get that in people around you, then external sources or employee assistance programs, friends, family, exercise, definitely mental health approaches such as mindfulness and breath work and meditation. All of those things can really help. But I think it's a very big thing that I'm sure a lot of women on this call have experienced in their life or will experience. And just to know that it's normal and it's okay to not excel at every point and switch off when you need to, and don't give 110% all the time. And I love Inga saying about switching off at 5 o'clock or having those boundaries. I think that's so important. And that's a very difficult thing to do. And I wish if we could all move forward with that approach, we would probably have a much better time with and avoid burnout.
Definitely, I agree with you also, Dr. Jules. Next is Ms. Nadine. So based on your experience, how do societal factors, including gender roles, discrimination, and accessibility influence women's mental health?
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me and talking about mental health. In my opinion, we want to make sure we're taking care of our emotional health, like doctor said before, because when we are aligned internally, I think this will create a better harmony between what we are doing in general. So discrimination and all these words, we want to look at them, how they make us feel as women. It's not about the fact that there is discrimination, how we feel. We feel unworthy, we feel that we're not accepted, not respected enough. We want to do more, prove more. So all those emotions, internal emotions, create more frustration and stress on our mental. So starting with the inside work, this is where we can get the plan to have our lifestyle mentally balanced. And we all know that we have energy in our system, and this energy should be distributed in a way that is really giving us that space that we are covering everything, yet without burnout. So how much energy do I want to give to my work? How much energy do I want to address to my mind, to my mental health? And what are the emotions that are internal that I'm not paying attention to? So asking those kind of questions, how am I feeling today? What are my emotions? And how can I build on them to create a space where I am relaxed, and so I can give more with ease and flow, not with frustration and stress and pressure.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Ms. Nadine. Ms. Dima, in your opinion, what are the most prevalent mental health issues faced by women in the workplace? And why do they go often unnoticed or undertreated? And this is actually very important because, you know, this is one of the reasons that mental health is being like aggravating in the workplace. So in your opinion, what are the most prevalent mental health issues faced by women in the workplace and why they do often go unnoticed or, let's say, undertreated?
Well, first, I would like to say hi to everyone and thank you for having this opportunity to be a speaker in this wonderful day, Women Empowerment Day. So I'm really thrilled to be a speaker today. So, replying to your question about what is the most prevalent, the health issues that it may face the woman in the workplace. I can say, based on my experience as a professional legal advisor, the most prevalent health issues, it could be the anxiety. Working women in the work, it may face a lot of issues including to stress of the work and the fear that she will be labeled that she is incapable. So it makes her feel the anxiety, how she will cope and how she will be able to do multiple roles in her life, being a working woman, being a mother, being a housewife, because at the end, the woman, she can play multiple roles. So then the woman will experience this anxiety, which will lead her to feel the overwhelm and the fear, and then she will start to juggle in having her roles in the life. Based on my experience, I see that when women join her job, okay, and then after as a single woman, let us say as a single woman, and then after that she got to get married, she got this anxiety, the fear that she will be labeled that, oh, she got married, then she will not be able to handle being a wife and being a professional working woman. And then after that, she start to think about, oh, shall I get pregnant, or shall I like adjourn the pregnancy stage for later, because my employer will also label or mark me that I cannot make it. And then after that, when she got pregnant, she start to look at her, oh, she's weak, like she's weak, she cannot handle it. After that, maternity and back to work, those all stages that women can pass, it can cause anxiety to her. And this, it will be a pressure on her to fulfill and to handle her job properly. And the reason why it got unnoticed or untreated, because of different reasons. First of all, I can say it's the lack of awareness and the lack of understanding of the woman right. Because the woman should first have the advocacy of learning her rights as per the law. What is her right as per the law here? The law here protect the woman. The labor law protect the woman, provide a high protection. So a working woman can ask for her leave after the pass of 1 year of her employment. So if she submit for a leave and her employer want to stress her or pressurize her in a way like, no, we want you to work, we cannot give you a leave, she can claim her right. Straightforward, she can claim her right. Additionally, when she planned for pregnancy and she got pregnant, she can take her maternity leave as per the law, and she can take it, relax, and back to her work, and her employer should respect this. So my advice, or as per my experience, I noticed that the lack of awareness and understanding, it's like the main point that it's been unnoticed. One more thing, that it's the fear of the woman that she hide. She hide she hide her symptoms. Even if she feel that she is about to have these causes of mental health, she start to hide and to accept her pressure just because she don't want to lose her job. So the woman should understand that women's health is a priority, and there is a law here who is providing high protection for her. Even if the employer want to challenge her rights, there is a law. She can go to the law, she can claim her rights, she can send a proper professional email to her employer asking for rights. So this will be more clear for everyone, for the employer and for her, that she has a right and her right is protected.
Thank you very, very much, Ms. Tima, for the very detailed explanation. And I also agree with you that this is becoming like a kind of discrimination against married or pregnant women. So some employers, they prefer actually employing single women over married or women newly married who are planning to get pregnant for the same issues that you are discussing. Thank you very much. My next question is addressed to Ms. Florence. So based on this particular case or a particular discussion, Ms. Florence, how can organizations ensure that their mental health policies and practices are inclusive and responsive to the unique needs of women? Because women have definitely unique needs that are different than men's needs, especially when it comes to marriage, pregnancy, motherhood, and so on. So, yes.
Thank you very much, Lama. And I would like to welcome, we have a big crowd today, around 400. I'm checking the participants number. So I'm happy to be with you today with all this big crowd of empowered ladies and women. Now, regarding your question, this is very relevant to my work as an HR director in Sustainable CTC Engineering. Asking about women in the workplace, 3 things I want to emphasize. There has to be an inclusive, responsive, supportive environment for women. This is because, like in my company, we have around 24 different nationalities. Just imagine the company is dominated by male gender. So if women are left unattended and not protected, and they don't feel like they are being supported, then definitely the productivity level will be affected. Now, in this case, we need to maintain an open door policy. I agree with all my fellow panelists over here when they say mental health, emotional health should be taken care of. Now, if you have an open door policy, one should be aware that you have the voice in the boardroom. You have the right to speak up. You have the right to be given the chance to sit and speak up regarding your concerns and issues. Why? Because 1 out of 5 women, according to studies, 1 out of 5 women suffer from mental health disorder. Particularly the most common, we have anxiety and, of course, the stressors in the workplace that leads to depression. Now, if this is not being taken care of in the workplace, imagine a woman in the family. You play the role of a wife. You play the role of a mother. You play the role of a sister or a daughter to your mother. When you go out, you have the professional role to take care of. So imagine if in the family you are already stressed out and you get to the workplace and you don't get a chance to feel that you are being valued and that your worth is a point of question just because you are a lady or a woman, then definitely that would give you the sense of disturbance in the workplace. So I am an advocate of women empowerment for several years, and I would always support the open door policy. We all have equal rights, as we say. We need to be heard. Second to that, how do we sustain? Even if you have the open door policy, if you do not get the feedback, feedback is very important. When you give them the chance to speak, there has to be a follow-up session also. Why? Because if you have a certain person in a situation and then you just leave it like that, there is no follow-up. How would you then know that this person was able to resolve her issues? So it's very good to say an open door policy should be supported by a good feedback session in order to gauge, measure how far you have helped the person or the woman in the workplace. Another thing is by giving awareness program talking about the women involvement in the workplace matters. So when people discuss and lead to any decision making, and the women counterpart, I heard our first speaker saying that, okay, the empowered women is there and it makes the business more easy. Why? Because when women talks, definitely there is power in our voices. So Lama and the rest of the group, I'd like to stress that a responsive and an inclusive environment would help us a lot of women over there to feel they belong in the organization. Needless to say that the global topic nowadays, talking about diversity, inclusion, equity, and the letter B. The letter B is very important. That is the sense of belonging. So you have to feel you belong so that you will be ignited and be motivated to produce more and to create more. When we have the positive energy in the workplace, we tend to influence all others. So let us not be carrier of the virus. Let us be a carrier of positive attitude and energy so that in the workplace, just imagine you exude the aroma of being positive, then definitely all the challenges will be carried forward and resolved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Florence. But I have a quick question in between for you. So do you think the awareness sessions on inclusivity and the importance of the role of women should be given only to women or to both genders?
This is non-partisan, so definitely this is a general concern, not only for women, because men should also be educated. And this is across all levels. It doesn't limit itself with the staff alone. It has to be across all levels, from the senior managers down to the line, so that everyone will have, in our diversity, we have to have an inclusive program that would understand the value of women in the organization. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Coming back to Ms. Nadine. So, Ms. Nadine, what do you think is the relationship between the socioeconomic status and mental illness among working women specifically?
I don't see a relationship, but I see that opportunities, So mental health is everywhere. It doesn't have to do anything with the status. But I think that when we have the opportunities and the capabilities to do more, like Florence was saying about awareness, about customizing programs to put the woman in the state of mind, the state of mind of being balanced and accepted and feeling that they belong. So I think this is where it comes, the status. But what I strongly believe is that being accepted and respected and giving that space of freedom to talk and getting interested in. So I think this is where women will be working more on their skills and to master more their skills. When they have the opportunities to talk, they will talk with confidence and have ideas. And you know that we are very creative. Women are creative. They bring a different point of view in anything that is happening. So if we are giving that space, then there will be a lot of creativity. Creativity leads to innovation. Innovation creates more success and more successful stories. So I think this is the base of how we want to start from. So where are we functioning from? Functioning from a place of, yes, we are here. We have our ideas and let's explore. And it's okay if sometimes we are not heard. That's fine. It's okay. I always say that feedback, the positive and the negative, are both good, because the good feedback puts you into a responsibility to work on yourself more and work on your skills more. And the negative will tell you what you are still need to work on. And both of them are good. So we want to take all those feedbacks, the positive and the negative, in neutral way. So it's nothing personal. It's all about our growth, how we want to evolve, what we want to give, what are the message that we all want to say, and how we are contributing to anything that we are working on, whether it's a family or the organization, how we are contributing, who are we at the internally, like I said before. So something like the depression, we were talking about it. Depression can be in all the roles that women are playing. If you are depressed, you are a depressed wife, you are a depressed mother, you are a depressed employee.
Exactly. So regardless of the socioeconomic status, regardless if you are single mother, divorced, married, with 10 kids or with 1 kid, regardless, the most important is to be aware about your mental health.
And the state of mind. So working on that state of mind, this is what will make you excel in anything that you are, in any role, let's say, you are playing in life.
That's right. Thank you very much. Coming back again to Dr. Jules here. So Dr. Jules, in your opinion, what resources and support networks exist currently for women seeking guidance on managing their mental health at work?
I do believe every employer would have an employee assistance program, and I think that we all need to be accessing that and using that. But there's another area that is linked to mental health that may not be mental health, is also perimenopause, menopause. Every single one of us is going to be affected by this. And I think we all forget the effect that the hormones have on the body in a month. And there's a period of your cycle where you're very active, lots of ideas come, and then further toward the end of the month, it's not great. Your progesterone's dropping, your hormones are dropping, and you don't feel the best. And I think some women are not connected enough to understand that you can't control this. It's happening inside your body. And going and seeing a doctor and having a checkup and making sure that your hormones are okay. Is there anything they can refer you to make sure that you are getting the physical support, which will help your emotional support, because it's all very connected, as we're aware. Again, asking for help, friends, family support, kind of looking outside. But hopefully all employers do have an employee assistance program to support their staff. But I'm a big advocate for menopause symptoms. And I think women don't realize how young you can be when the symptoms can start of perimenopause. So if you're above 35, and then you are a candidate. So please make sure you're aware of understanding your body and giving yourself the patience and the kindness that it is difficult, and there's times of the month where it's even more difficult, and just to be very kind, and to each other, and thinking about what other women are going through. It's not just us. We're all going through this, and I think it's a very empowering time that women are supporting women and understanding, and to have strong women leaders that do acknowledge. I mean, I've only been in the UAE for 1 year, and telling people they've done a good job, I feel like a lot of people don't hear that enough. And the amount of response I've got from just being kind to people, a lot of the staff have said, I feel safe now. I feel, it's created a different vibe in the place by having a female leader that is strong, that is also kind. And I think that's something that we can all bring to help improve our businesses. So this is a great platform, and I'm very proud to be part of it.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jules. So I think we can keep talking about this topic endlessly. We can go on for hours and hours. But thank you again, everyone, for your very insightful ideas and for sharing your experience with all of the women out here, and for again contributing into inspiring the women and empowering them in this panel discussion. I'm sure it was very insightful for many of the attendees here. Thank you again for attending this conference today, and happy Women's Day to everyone. Thank you very much, and back to you, Melissa.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Lama.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a really great discussion. Really, really enjoyed that. Thank you very much to all the panelists and to Lama. Hope you're all enjoying the sessions. So just one point before we go forward, if I could kindly request all of you to find time to leave a Google review by either scanning the QR code that you see on the screen or by visiting the link that's shared in the chat box. We really appreciate and respect your feedback. Thank you very much. So now, without any further delay, let us move into an alarming topic. The need for investing in women's education. Educating women is not just a matter of equality. It's a powerful catalyst for societal progress. When women are educated, entire communities thrive. Education empowers women to make informed decisions about their health, their family, and the future. So here comes the next keynote speech on the topic, Educate, Empower, Excel, the role of women's education in global progress. May I welcome Ms. Florence Di Bueno, who was one of our panelists in the previous session, to delve into the importance of women's education. Thank you, Ms. Florence.
Thank you so much, Melissa. So, well, I was given a chance to speak regarding this, Empower, Excel. And let's see, can we move to the next slide, please? Yes, when we talk of women empowerment, many of us would come to a point that we have so many words related to empowerment. Now, these are the words or the keywords rather that gets into your mind, probably. We have leaders, we have leadership, we have customized, motivated, diversity, etc. Now, what really makes a woman a woman? So let us find out in this few slides of presentation that I have prepared for every one of you, and I hope that you will get the insights relevant to your need. Can we move to the next slide, please? So we have the R's of a woman. Let us find out what are these R's that are very relevant in this need of time. So number one R is we have the rights. We have to understand our rights. In the previous session, we have heard about the panelists saying that we have the rights and we have to understand what kind of rights do we have in the UAE. The UAE is a country of talents and competitions. This is our home for many expats. And we are feeling the kind of rights that are being given to each woman. So the rights that we have speak so much of being a woman because we are not neglected, we are not ignored, rather we are supported. Now with these rights, we need respect from everyone, regardless of the social economic status or whatsoever that you are coming from. Respect does not mean your title. Respect does not mean madam, or miss. Respect is a gesture that is given to each woman so that you would feel that you are really given this kind of gesture as a human being. Number 3R is responsibilities. As I mentioned previously, responsibilities would talk about our roles, would talk about our vital role in the family and in the professional field. As a woman, as a human being, as a wife, as a mother, a daughter, a friend, professional, or even just a self-carer. Because seldom do we hear others understand that we need self-care also. Then we have rest and relaxation. With all the many hats that we wear every day in different fields, we need to rest our minds, we need to rest our body, and we need this kind of relaxation. So all these R's are relevant to being a woman. However, many of us would forget another very substantial and relevant R, and that is, can we press please? Relationship. So we build healthy relationship with people across. If it is in the workplace, I always call it SIR, S-I-R. We have to maintain all the time a smooth interpersonal relationship. Now in the family, suppose you are not a career woman and you are not working. You also play a very challenging role at home. So maintaining good relationship with your husband, with your children, with your in-laws, with your siblings, with everyone in the home, with your housemates, for example, this would really call for the very pertinent R, relationship. So these are the roles of women that we have. And then we move to the next slide. Yes, an empowered woman is somebody who has a winner mindset. Winner mindset would mean we always have to possess can-do attitude. The can-do attitude would not limit yourself and your potentials in exploring the world. Winner mindset would mean you are not a loser, you are a risk taker, and you are witty and smart enough to combat these challenges. I put it as an acronym if you notice. So winner mindset would be supported by letter O, and letter O would speak about optimistic and organized. Empowered woman is optimistic. We are positive thinkers. We always see an opportunity in front of the challenges. Instead of seeing it as a problem, empowered woman should see it as an opportunity to grow, opportunity to explore, opportunity to learn. So being optimistic would also call for another O, which is organized. You have to organize your timetable. You have to organize at the start of the day. What time do you start the day? Would it be 5 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock? What time do you get in the office? Maybe at 8 o'clock in the morning. So this is sunrise. Then ask yourself, why do you look at like a sunset, 8 p.m. instead of sunrise, 8 in the morning? Yeah. So you have to organize by way of telling yourself, this is a good start of the day, and let us face the challenge of the day. Would mean magnanimous and mindful. Somebody who is magnanimous understands the relevance and substance of her presence, whether in the family or in the workplace. Magnanimous contributions would call for a woman who is empowered and understands and value herself, her skills, her knowledge, her competencies, and of course, her attitude. So magnanimous and mindful. You care for others. You are mindful of your colleagues. You are mindful of all other people around. Why? Because you care for them and you understand what they need. He is authentic. No one can be more than just an authentic person, a genuine person. You are the best version of yourself. One can duplicate your own masterpiece, your own legacy, your own self. So you are authentic, you are not artificial, or you are just putting a camouflage to play a role that you are kind, but in reality, you are not kind. You are pretending that you are okay, but you are not okay. A also is being assertive. Woman should be assertive of her ideas and thoughts. Your voice is heard, and it will be given more value when you assert on your ideas that you believe are capable of producing more with other people, capable of influencing people positively. For you, being assertive and authentic will give good results. And the last letter in woman is N. You have to be natural and nice. Natural and nice in a way that you have to be capable of understanding whatever nationality is in front of you. We do not talk about nationality. We do not talk about our own regionalism. We do not talk about the gender itself. We do not talk about the ethnicity. We do not talk about the education level. As I say, respect is not sir, miss, madam, or ma'am. This is more than that. When you give a natural being out of yourself, you are nice with people, they would feel the confident that yes, you are the right person in front of them to listen to their concerns or their issues. If you assure them that you are nice and you value the confidentiality that they are giving you, then you become more empowered to speak. Then you become more relaxed to share whatever is troubling you. So this acronym, I hope, will serve as a guide to anyone who wants to be empowered, who wants to be influenced positively. As we say, we need to educate people. And education, by the way, is not in the university or school or a training institute. Education is everyday experience in life. Education can be with a cleaner, with a security guard, with a driver, or whoever we meet along the way. So as an empowered woman, I would like to spread the positivity with all of you out there so that when we practice all these things that I mentioned, we come up with a better version of ourselves. Can we move to the next slide, please? So as a result, what is expected if you apply the R's and you apply the acronym woman? What is expected of you? So as a result, we have E's. If you have noticed, I'm fond of acronym. So we have this feeling of enlightenment. We become enlightened. Why? Any doubts are being cleared. You are secured and assured that when you open up, you will be assured that this will not be broadcasted in the open world. It will be sense of confidentiality and value with what you are saying. So you feel enlightened that doubts are cleared and no more shadow or gray areas that needs to be clarified. You feel encouraged. You feel encouraged to do more, to multiply yourself more. By the way, I'd like to add in this encourage word, the formula for synergy. The formula for synergy is 1 + 1 = 3. Your idea and my idea, if we put them together, we create a better idea. Women empowering women. We all feel encouraged. And therefore, if you are encouraged and enlightened, you become more engaged. You do not set your limitations because you become engaged, then it becomes a habit of you in multiplying yourself more. And that becomes a passion. When you put the passion in it, you will enjoy more. So let us go and celebrate all these things that I have mentioned with the rest of the panels and the speakers. I hope you will be able to learn on these things. And the last slide that I have for the day, this is my favorite tagline. This has been my original tagline since the time I entered the HR world. When I entered human resources for the past 36 years, don't count my age, I'm 56, I'm a grandmother, I'm a widow, and I am an empowered woman. I always say, when you share yourself with others, you do not become less. You end up more complete. So don't be afraid of sharing yourself with others, because in this case, I would like to thank everyone for completing me today. And once again, happy Women's Day to all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Florence. I love your acronym for women. I'm sure many of the women here today can agree with me. It encompasses everything that we should embody and what many of us probably do. Thank you very much for sharing that. So now, moving on to the next session, which is also a very critical topic. In the quest for a sustainable and equitable future, women emerge as a driving force for profound social and environmental change. Their impact is transformative, creates a ripple effect that extends far beyond individual actions. As agents of positive transformation, women leverage their unique perspectives, resilience, and commitment to instigate sustainable practices and advocate for a better world. So here we are, moving ahead with our keynote session for today on the topic of sustainable impact, women as the driving force for social and environmental change. Our speaker, Ms. Rania Abu, is a quality management and corporate training expert with a commitment towards people's investment and development. May I please invite Ms. Rania to host the session?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Dear ladies and esteemed guests and fellow advocates for change, I'm honored to be here with a profound belief in the power of women to drive meaningful change in our world. Excuse my voice, I was very sick. I'm happy I can speak a little bit at least today. Can we move on, please, to the second slide? As we navigate the complex challenges of our time, from climate change to social inequality, it has become increasingly clear that women are not just a part of the solution. They are the driving force behind the sustainable impact. Throughout history, we as women have faced so many challenges and obstacles on our journey towards equality and empowerment. Yet, in the face of adversity, we have consistently risen with unwavering commitment to creating a better world for ourselves and the generations to come. From a sustainability perspective, women have long served as the guardians of our planets, the caretakers of our communities, and the catalysts for positive transformation. Whether it's advocating for renewable energy, promoting sustainable agriculture, or championing environmental justice, women have been at the forefront efforts to build a more why did I lost the screen? Okay, sorry. To build justice, women have been at the forefront of efforts to build a more resilient and equitable world. Now, when women have access to education, they are better equipped to make informed choices about their health, their families, and the environment. When women participate in the workplace, they contribute to economic growth and innovation while advocating for sustainable practices within industries. When women are involved in decision-making processes, their unique perspectives and experiences enrich policy discussions and lead to more inclusive and effective solutions. Empowering women isn't just the right thing to do. It's the smart thing to do for the planet and future generations. So empowered women in here, kindly empower women. Can we move on, please, to the next slide? I'd like to guide you through some research findings according to the UN Climate Change News that was published on the 8th of March, 2023. Women comprise the majority of the world's poor and disproportionately affected by environmental degradation. Yet, they are also disproportionately burdened with responsibilities related to the resource management and household sustainability. This dual role positions women uniquely as both the most vulnerable to environmental harm and the most capable of driving sustainable solutions. As the same UN Climate Change News noted, women constitute nearly half of the agricultural labor force. Their equal access to resources increase agricultural yields by 20 to 30%, and can reduce reduction by 12 to 17%. They have a big role in promoting sustainable farming and conservation. And here, I cannot except mention the groundbreaking work of Professor Wangari Maathai, a founder of the Green Belt movement in Kenya, 1997, under the patronage of the National Council of Women in Kenya. She responded to the need of the rural Kenyan women who reported that their streams were drying up and their food supply was less secure. So she was the first to define the crucial link between the environmental conservation, the women empowerment, and the community development. So what she did is she mobilized thousands of women to plant trees, combat deforestation, and secure livelihoods for themselves and future generations. Can we move on, please? Now, as per the Observer Research Foundation report published in July 2023, women leaders often prioritize social issues, including education, health, and social justice, contributing to a more equitable and sustainable society. Women in decision-making roles can generate positive outcomes for companies and societies. As you can see, research compiled by Frank Recruitment Group in 2022 found that 87% of the top 500 led by females reported profits above the average. In contrast, only 78% of companies without a female CEO achieved the same level of success. Their presence in decision-making roles can also inspire future generations of women leaders, thereby furthering the cause of gender equality. Now, if you look to the right side of the slide, you can see that over the past 10 years, a study was made over the past 10 years, 2014 to 2022, the difference in returns is 384% from female-led companies versus 261% from male-led companies. Can we move on, please? Let's bring it to the region a bit and with a positive change. The intersection between women's empowerment and environmental sustainability is further evident in the realm of international negotiations, such as the Conference of the Parties, known as COP summits. Women play a crucial role in shaping climate policies and advocating for climate justice on a global scale. From grassroots activists to heads of states, women are leading the charge of ambitious climate actions and resilient communities. Now, despite the progress, women's representation at COP remains insufficient. In recent years, women were underrepresented in climate negotiations, with only 5 women appointed at COP as a COP president since COP1, that was in 1995. Less than 36% of COP27 delegates were women. Only 20% of heads of country delegations were women. Advocates call for at least 50% women participation at all levels of decision-making, including the presidency. Governments urged to appoint at least Noted. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes, we can.
No,
Thank you.
Okay. And governments urged to appoint at least 50% women on their country delegations attending COP28. And we can see the progress was made with the UAE appointing talented women to leadership roles for COP28 that was just held this year, including Hana Al-Hashimi as COP presidency chief negotiator. Can we please move on? Now, in the UAE, women-led organizations such as the Ministry of Climate Change and Environment, the Environment Agency, Abu Dhabi, and the Emirates Nature World Wildlife Fund, they foster cooperation and partnership across public and private sectors, as well as academia. The result is a rich legacy of world-class initiatives that deliver climate and biodiversity targets with scale and speed, like the nature-based solutions for climate, biodiversity, and people. This NBS pioneers the use of cutting-edge conservation techniques in the region and takes a holistic approach to protecting, restoring, and sustainably managing coastal ecosystems, including mangroves, seagrass, and salt marshes, which are critical in delivering the UAE's net zero by 2050 strategic initiative, as well as global 30 by 30 biodiversity targets. These coastal ecosystems are essential in removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. In addition to climate mitigation, these coastal ecosystems are also important in defending our coastal against rising sea levels and flooding and supporting marine species that rely on them. Can we move on? Okay. Today, we witness many women-led initiatives worldwide, all aimed at fostering inclusive and equitable approaches to sustainability. Projects such as the Women's Environment and development organizations WeDo exemplify this commitment by prioritizing the intersectionality of gender, environment, and social justice, advocating for policies that address the unique environment, the unique needs of marginalized communities, while promoting sustainable development for all. As we look ahead, ladies, our work is far from over. Many regions around the world continue to face barriers and obstacles that limit a woman's full potential. However, ladies, our resilience is our strength, and our solidarity is our power. So let's together as women continue to rise, to thrive, and to shape a world where every woman and girl can fulfill her potential and live with dignity, respect, and equality. Can we move on? I want to thank you all for listening. Happy International Women's Day to all women in the world. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Rania. Investing in women's empowerment is not just a matter of social justice, but a strategic imperative for sustainable development and economic growth. Recognizing and supporting the potential of women to contribute to various facets of society has far-reaching benefits that extend beyond gender equality. Even though it is highly promising to see women entrepreneurs being successful, there are various challenges faced by women entrepreneurs when starting their businesses. It is now time to discuss further on this topic. So we will have a panel discussion on financing women-led startups, opportunities and challenges in the investment landscape. Our panel comprises of highly qualified and potential speakers. May I introduce them to you? We have Ms. Subha Rakesh, the founder of Cognizance Academy, is an international speaker and a certified Vedic math professional with an exemplary academic background and a legacy of training hundreds of students in Vedic mathematics. We have Ms. Dagmar Tukova, the Vice President of the European Women's Association and the co-founder of Innova Global Solutions. She has an extensive experience of over 20 years in fundraising, partnerships, and fintech, with a core focus on social impact and inclusion. Ms. Sonia Al-Marzuki, who serves as a mentor to a number of budding entrepreneurs. She is an experienced Emirati business executive with a proven track record in leadership, entrepreneurship, strategy, digital transformation, and finance. The entire session will be moderated by Ms. Tissy Thomas, who is the lead strategist at the E&. She is a well-known talent management leader with over 19 years of experience in driving individual and organizational excellence. May I welcome Ms. Subha, Dagmar, Sonia, and Tissy to discuss about the topic. Thank you very much to the team.
Thank you, Melissa, for your kind introductions. Welcome to a very, very interesting discussion on the panel discussion that we're going to be having. First of all, a very, very happy Women's Day to all of you. Good to see so many of you in attendance here. I think we're close to 350 people on a weekday morning. So I assume that we're all interested in what we are going to be talking about. Before we start our panel discussion and I have our discussions with Subha and Sonia, I would like everybody to ask themselves, I don't know how many of you are expats here, but you know, most of the expats who come to the GCC, one of the most prominent thoughts in their head is, I'll probably work for 2 to 3 years and then I'll start something of my own. How many of you have had that thought while you got into or while you started working? Yeah, a lot of us come to the GCC thinking this is such a place of energy. This is such a place where we want to develop something of our own. And then life takes over and then we continue in our jobs for a very, very long time. Yeah? So today we have the opportunity with Dagmar, Sonia and Subha to let us understand how is it that being a woman founder here does help us while we are moving in our journey towards entrepreneurship. How many of you here, before we begin, how many of you here, a good show of hands, saying, I want to start something of my own? We have a small reaction box down there. Okay, Sneha, Jocelyn, good to see that. Shruti, oh, wow. Laddie, welcome to the club. Okay, great. So with that, we've got a lot of people with their hands popping up. With that, I'm going to be posing my first question to all 3 of our esteemed panel members. You know, there are so many of us who want to get into business. There are so many of us who understand that UAE is a great place to start our own business, to make our own or create our own identities. If I have to ask you, like, what does the startup ecosystem look like? What are the good things that exist in the environment if I'm looking to start a business? What are, you know, the not so good things that we are looking at when we are wanting to look up the ecosystem here? Because we have so many women who are interested. We'd start with Sonia. Sonia.
Okay.
Is anybody?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Very clearly, Sonia. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you. So I'll repeat my comments and say thank you very much for having me and happy Women's Day. It's a pleasure to be with amazing women on this panel. To answer your question, UAE is the best platform to launch any new business, but we are focused on 4 main pillars currently. One is technology, AI, anything in medical, pharmaceuticals, and in fintech, in finance. And recently, we're in a good place, even more as women, because the government is funding a lot of startups. We have a number of startups that are giving funding. In Dubai, something was launched, over $1 billion fund was launched last week alone. So we have the avenue. The question is, do we have the right business plan? Have we bulletproof the question so we can present it to the right people and get the funding that we need for these startups?
Okay. Dagmar, your thoughts?
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me here. Happy International Women's Day to all of you. I am so glad to see so many hands up that you want to start your journey in your own business. So, and as Sonia said, I cannot agree more. UAE is the right place where to be and start the business, because we can see a lot of initiatives from the government itself, a lot of supporting association groups, even accelerators. And I know what I am talking about because we just recently launched one of them, like European Women's Association Accelerator in partnership with the UAE Ministry of Economy. So there is a huge initiative from that. And as Sonia said, anything which is around the technology, like even the digital economy, like now it's estimated to grow to 140 billion in 2031, which is a huge number will get from the startups. So it's a really good opportunity. And of course, there are like even the gender inclusive policies from the government, which is getting women in more senior positions and preparing them for maybe for one day their own journey. So now, like, we can see the initiatives to get 30% more women in boardroom position and support women to start their own businesses, like it's getting again from the government. And access to funding, yes, but the number is still quite very low to get the funding for female founders. It's still around 2%. So we have a lot work to do, but I have to say it's getting better and better. And now with all the talks and actually this one is example of one conference and summit and talks. I think everything would help and will increase the number of female founders.
Lovely. Dagmar, all I heard was billions in your conversation. So thank you for putting that number out there for all of us to go out and earn. Shiva, can I have your thoughts on this, please?
Good afternoon, all. Am I audible?
Yes, very much.
Happy Women's Day to all of you here. Thank you, Ocean and BOWLD, for the invite to be in the forum. So, as I'm from India, that I wish to share my views from both angles, from UAE and India. And my understanding of the ecosystem is the UAE's startup ecosystem thrives on its visionary leadership, strategic and geographic location, and ambitious digital transformation policies, which contrasts with India's vast, diverse, and grassroots-driven entrepreneurial landscape. While the UAE benefits from political stability, advanced infrastructure, and a significant push towards innovation and sustainability, it also boasts of specialized free zones that cater specifically to startups, offering incentives like 100% foreign ownership and tax exemptions. And these features are distinct from India's ecosystem, which, powered by a large young population, has become a hotbed for innovation, particularly in technology-driven sectors like e-commerce, fintech, and health tech. Despite facing challenges such as regulatory complexities and infrastructural constraints, India's ecosystem is buoyed by a strong culture of entrepreneurship and significant venture capital investment and government initiatives like Startup India aimed at fostering innovation and ease of doing business. And both ecosystems I have seen they offer unique advantages and face distinct challenges, but they are united in their commitment to nurturing startups and driving economic growth.
Thank you. That sounded very, very comprehensive, Subha. We've got advantages at both ends, when you're talking about some kind of a facility is possible, like you said, the geographical place that we are in right now, we're becoming the world hub. We can reach out to probably everybody and anybody across the world from where we are. So that definitely gives us a strategic advance. Now, before we find out what are the challenges in these fields that women founders especially are facing, can we talk about a few people who've been extremely successful, a few women who've started their own enterprise here and they've been very, very successful. I'm sure all of you are aware of Huda Beauty. Yeah, I don't know how many of you all use Huda Beauty, but she is a product of
the entrepreneurial system that existed for a very, very long time. So she's definitely been somebody who's hovering on in my head when it comes to entrepreneurship for women. What are your thoughts? Well, who are some of those women founders whom you've seen doing really, really well? Anybody? Sonia?
Well, I've met and know of many women that have succeeded in business. Whether it was necessarily green or not, I'm not sure. Green is fashionable today. If you look back 10, 20 years ago, it wasn't. Just breaking the glass ceiling of either in corporate or in private sector, becoming successful or entering the market has always been a challenge for women. And we are succeeding more and more on that front. Today, there are 39 women that lead, that are CEOs of the top Fortune 500 companies. And only, it's not wow, it's only. So we need to have more women leading. Indira Nooyi, she was Indian ethnicity. She's one of the women that I would say she's someone that we need to look up to. And she does a lot of master classes and talks and speeches and everything else. In the UAE, we have the opportunity to showcase our efforts, to lead by example for other women. But what I would also encourage, and I know Dagmar does and I do, is to mentor, coach other women in becoming successful. Read their business plan, listen to them, listen to their Q&As. What are their anxieties? And that's the first step. It's not who are the successful women today, but let's look at how many more want to enter that field. And instead of just doing the standard things that are expected of us, oh, I'm going to open a abaya shop, I'm going to open a tailoring shop, I'm going to open a hair salon, a nail shop. What are there's a million other things that women we do. We are technical, and we just need to lift up the barriers for ourselves. The questions we have, discuss it, verbalize it, and even if you stand in front of a mirror and hear yourself ask those questions, and or bounce it off someone else who's gone through the journey, helps elevate those and pave the way forward for yourself.
Absolutely. Indira Nooyi is a personal favorite of mine. I think she's balanced the whole thing about being a real big corporate honcho for a multinational and being able to manage, her personal front. So she's been an inspiration for me also. Shubha, what about you? Would you think there are certain people that you look up to when it comes to women entrepreneurship?
Indra Nooyi is always everyone's first choice. But when I am going through, I have some 2 or 3 names which have caught my attention. One is Mona Chai of Mom's World, a pioneering e-commerce platform for mothers in the Middle East, is a testament on how addressing specific market needs with a keen understanding of customer base can lead us to remarkable success. And her vision has stemmed from her own personal experience as a mother, finding a gap in the market for a comprehensive and accessible platform for mother, baby, and child products. And under her leadership, I have read that has not only grown exponentially, but has also empowered mothers too, by providing them choices, information, and a supportive community. And one more notable person is Dr. Hiba of Maharat Learning Center, who co-founded Maharat Learning Center, a specialized center for children and young adults with special needs, addressing a significant gap in the UAE's educational and developmental sector. And her journey has been just reflecting a deep commitment to social entrepreneurship, leveraging her professional background and personal experiences to make a lasting impact on society. And her work underscores the importance of inclusive education and services, like setting a powerful example of entrepreneurial ventures that drive social challenges. And then from India, I can see Falguni Nayar of Nika, who had made a successful career in finance and serving as a managing director at Kotak Mahindra Capital. And her leap into entrepreneurship at the age of 50, not earlier, just 50 to start Nykaa, was her passion for beauty and wellness and her belief in the potential of e-commerce in India. And its journey from a startup to beauty venture leading to a successful IPO is a testament to her visionary leadership, market acumen. And there is VLCC of and Vandana Luthara, who founded VLCC in 1989 as a beauty and wellness service. And it also is a remarkable journey of its pioneering spirit in health and wellness industry, transforming societal attitude towards beauty and wellness and championing the cause of women's entrepreneur, women entrepreneurship and empowerment in India.
How many of us have bought stuff from Mum's World? If not for our kids, for other people's kids. Mum's World. It's one of the most progressive platforms that I've seen for kids product here in the GCC. I'm a huge fan, and I've seen a lot of friends of mine, go onto the platform to do that. Nova definitely has bought stuff from there. Dagmar, whom do you look up to? Whom are Anjali has also looked up? Dagmar, whom have you?
Yeah, I definitely have heard about Mom's Board, then we have the other companies. My children are quite grown up, so like it's not really my favorite platform anymore, but yes. I cannot agree more with with ladies, like that what Sonia said, that we really have to be like if we want to start our own journey, our own business, we have to be ready for that. We have to be prepared. We have to do the homework before we start the business. It's not only about to have an idea and hope that somehow it would happen, right? We have to, because sometimes if we are talking about pharma tech, we are very much in that field. We are specialized in that field, but we don't know how to start the business, how to do the operational side of the business. So definitely like a business plan, do the homework, do the network, have the mentors, like get any support, any help which you need to start the journey, and then the success will come, right? If we will network, if we will be supported with the best supporter which we can have, it's going to happen. So I mentor myself, and what I can just maybe can mention here, it's like I would like to highlight the journey of one of my exceptional female entrepreneur. She is a mother of two. She is the normal wife and lady, and so, but she had a dream, and she started the dream, and she's in the edutech sector, so digital transformation for financial institutions. And I began working with her when during the early stage. It was almost like idea stage. So we were working on I was assisting with refining the pitch deck, restructuring the business model, because at the beginning it was not viable. So we restructured it, and then we started seeking investors. So I advise her to build the network, like to have the right network and approach them. So now currently she and her team successfully closed their pre-seed round, and they are preparing for the seed round, and they are also planning the expansion into other markets. So this one is really the example of extraordinary resilience and dedication and overcoming obstacles and challenges along her journey. So I am very proud of her, and it's my pleasure to work with women like she, and like I believe many of you are. And yeah, what I can say, just if you have a dream, go and do it. That's all.
Okay, so and thank you for putting out there, Dagmar. Now, because you spoke about a journey that you're very, very proud of, if you were to talk about the core of the topic that we're going to delve in today, what are some of the challenges that you think women entrepreneurs in particular? I'm sure entrepreneurship is not an easy game anywhere for anybody, but if we have to look at some of the things that are particularly challenging for women in the entrepreneurship space, what would that be?
But I would probably start from the beginning, like when we have the idea and we are employed, and we have a job which we are not very happy with, and we want to start the business. Like there are many factors which are influencing us, like it's our family. It's when you start your business, you probably will not be earning money for a few months if you are lucky, but mainly 1 to 2 years, which it depends again on the industry. Then you will have to go if you need money to start your business, you have to go out there. So you have to overcome yourself. You have to suddenly change from being in the back, and suddenly you have to face being in the front. So you have to present yourself, you have to talk to different people, to investors who are looking at you like yeah, in a difficult way. So there is many challenges on the way, but on the other side, you can gain a lot. You can develop, you can grow. So it's just getting out of your comfort zone. And then, of course, there are gender bias, which is, there were so many talks about, and every and each conference when I go, we are talking about the bias. So the fundraising can be very difficult for us because like, for example, if we want to start bigger venture, we need to go to the venture capital, venture funds, and we have to talk to venture investors. And of course, we are getting different questions than the male counterpart. Like we are getting the preventative questions, like which are like regarding the feasibility and stability of your ventures, rather than getting the questions like how you will see your business in 3-5 years, which the male entrepreneurs are getting. So they are getting the question like less capable, like how you will scale the business and so on. So those are all bias which we have to overcome, and there are many, and we can be here a long time and talk about the bias. So you have to be ready for that. And again, you can be ready if you have a good mentor. He can prepare, or she or he or what can prepare you for that journey. So yeah, so I would say like definitely we have a limit to access to network. So network. Also the personal branding. So we have to also overcome that sometimes, like to step out and brand ourselves in different way. And also lack of representation among investors and decision makers in venture capital firms, so yeah.
Absolutely. Sonia, your thoughts very quickly?
Yes, yeah, for someone who's I've been in corporate and in private sector for many years, a lot of what Dagmar says resonates. Personally, what I find most useful is be the most knowledgeable about your own business. If you go there, you will have a better chance of debating, negotiating, presenting your case forward if you need funding. And no matter where you go, you've got to understand the entire process of your business and take command of the room. I've been in a man's world, as they still say, but to have command of the room, 80% of it is done if you've done your homework. Having a full-time job, I think a lot of people with the misunderstand the requirements of running a business. A lot of people, and I'll give you some numbers, a lot of people are slaves to their full-time jobs. It's a slave to next month's paycheck, and it's the security blanket that you have, getting that paycheck every month. Yeah. And that stems from lack of belief in your own business plan, in your own business setup, in your own capability. Now, 80% of the work is done in the business plan, in the back, making sure that the business you want to start is going to be successful. But that'll only happen if you roll your sleeves up and work in it, not depend entirely on the 12 people or the 10 people you want to recruit. Oh, I'll put $100,000 in there and I'll hire 4 people. And if you leave it to them, you're flushing your money down the toilet. It takes 18 months or 16 months for the shock to hit a business person to realize if they're failing or they're actually making money. And most people will have funding available from their own personal resources or beg, borrow from initial seed money from family and to run the business. Let's assume you borrowed $150,000 or $200,000. That's going to cover you for startup in most businesses. You will have enough funding to cover you for 2 years. And then there are over 4,000 to 6,000 businesses that fail each year. I'll repeat, 4,000 to 6,000 businesses that fail each year, and that's not a small number. Now, the beauty is, let's be a little bit more positive. We talked about fundraising. Fundraising comes from having 80% of your business plan written out, bounce it off other people, present it to other people, let others, again, within a very small circle, because you don't want others infringing on your idea and running away with it. You can't be too generous with your information either.
Absolutely.
So full fundraising, Dagmar is right as well. What we have seen in the market is women get challenged, and the Q&As are quite different than men do. And that's because majority of the guys sitting behind the table giving you the money are men, and they emulate themselves to the man in front of them. So when they look at you as a woman going there with your begging bowl and asking for funding, they're like, how can you do it? You're married, you're not married, you've got kids, you don't have kids. They put those biases in front of them before they can decide whether you're worthy of the funding or not. And this happens day in, day out.
Absolutely does. Absolutely. I think given the number of people who wanted to start their own businesses, 30 minutes is too short a time for us to get them on board as to what should we be doing when we want to start our own businesses. Maybe we should be looking at a masterclass with Sonia, Dagmar, and Shubha in, get all these women who want to start their own businesses and take them from where they are to where they want to be. Thank you very much, Sonia, Shubha, and Dagmar, for joining us. I know it was a very, very small snippet, but I think what we can take home from the discussion that we had today is there are a lot of women entrepreneurs out there. Yes, there are challenges, but then you've also got people like Dagmar, Shubha, and Sonia who could help you out right from the beginning and not wait for you to drown your money and then go back to them saying that, well, you know what, I need help. So get your homework done, approach people like Sonia, Dagmar, and Shubha, and see how is it that you actually get down to fulfilling your dream of being an entrepreneur in such a bountiful space. Thank you, Sonia, Shubha, and Dagmar, for joining us. Your inputs have been very, very valuable. I'm sure all the 300 odd people out here have taken something home. Thank you very much. A very happy International Women's Day, and I hope we get to celebrate a day every day and not just on the 8th of March. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks. Have a good afternoon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you to the panelists. It really was an insightful session once again, and I'm sure, like me, all of you have taken these valuable insights. So once again, if you don't mind, thank you. Before we move forward, may I kindly remind you to find the time to leave a Google review by either scanning the QR code that you see on the screen or by visiting the link shared in the chat box. We truly respect your feedback and thank you to those who have left a review already. Much appreciated. So now it's time to move on to the final keynote speech, which revolves around the topic equality dividends, the economic advantages of investing in women. Our speaker, Ms. Tamara Mahmood, is the co-founder of Smart Rise General Trading and an experienced corporate trainer. Tamara is a highly competent and resourceful professional who is passionate about helping individuals cultivate their talents and knowledge. May I welcome Ms. Tamara Mahmood Hamadi to discuss further on the economic advantages of investing in women. Over to you, Ms. Tamara.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me and happy International Women's Day. Actually, it's been a very fruitful morning. We've heard a lot of information about encouraging words. However, unfortunately, most of my talk will be a little bit discouraging, or let's call it negative, because we still have a lot of work to be done to reach where we as women aim to achieve. So, dear ladies, as we gather here today to celebrate International Women's Day, it's important to reflect on the progress we've made towards achieving gender equality and the crucial role that we, women, play in our economies and in societies. Today, I want to delve into the economic advantages of investing in women and how promoting gender equality not only fosters social justice, but also yields significant dividends for businesses and economies worldwide. Please. Today, please, can we have the next slide? So today, as we know, numerous studies are being done. Many researchers, McKinsey and Co., for instance, say that gender diverse executive teams were 21% more likely to experience above average profitability compared to their counterparts. And another study by the Journal of Business Ethics in 2021 found that companies with gender diverse teams demonstrated higher levels of creativity, innovation, which led to enhanced productivity and profitability. These only highlight the tangible benefits of harnessing the full potential of women in the workforce. Next slide. So the World Bank proposes a gender strategy for 2024-2030 after they have finished the strategy, which was from 2016 till 2023. The proposed strategy puts forward a bold ambition, which is to accelerate gender equality for sustainable, resilient, and inclusive future, and which works on 3 strategic objectives. Next slide. First one is the emotional well-being, where we end gender-based violence and elevate a human capital. The second is expanding and enabling economic opportunities. And the last one is engaging women as leaders. They are looking forward for outcomes like accelerating progress in eliminating all forms of gender-based violence and build and protect human capital, improve equal access to more and better jobs, including the jobs of the future and women in STEM, expanding ownership and use of economic assets, and expanding access to and use of services that enable economic participation, along with advancing women's participation, decision-making, and leadership. And we've heard the ladies before saying that only 31 ladies are CEOs of the companies worldwide. Next slide, please. Inclusivity or gender inclusiveness is not just a moral imperative, it's essential for building positive corporate reputation. By championing gender equality, organizations can enhance their brand image and strengthen their stakeholder relationships, ultimately driving long-term success. Next slide, please. Next slide. So progress toward gender equality is urgent and uniquely challenging. On average, across countries, long-run GDP per capita would almost be 20% higher if gender employment gaps were closed. Although governments face hard choices under tightening fiscal and debt constraints, evidence shows that women participation in the economy and in decision-making improves sustainability and resilience, as well as economic growth, productivity, and poverty reduction. Next slide, please. Progress towards gender equality has been slow, uneven, and sometimes even reversed, especially during the pandemic and the crisis. The last decade saw some hard-won gains in gender equality, especially in human capital, in maternal mortality rates, and in legal reforms and financing for women-led businesses or women entrepreneurships. These gains have been, however, uneven with large regional variations. Next, please. So the parity in labor force participation levels and the Global Gender Gap Report 2023 released by the World Economic Forum showed some remarkable recovery, especially after the 2022 edition. So the most marked recovery was observed in Southern Asia, followed by Latin America and the Caribbean, Eurasia, Central Asia, East Asia, the Pacific, and then the Sub-Saharan Africa. Parity in Europe and North America saw virtually no change, while the MENA region saw a slight drop, unfortunately. The lowest levels of parity in participation on average in the regional level in the Middle East are by 30% and the Southern Asia 34%. The North America was 84%, followed by Europe at 82%, where East Asia and the Pacific were at 80%. Moving forward. So workforce representation across industry, although a closer look across industry revealed that healthcare and care services were at 64.7%, and continues to be a female-led field. Women also outnumbered men through a lesser degree in education, 54%, and consumer services in 51.8%. Whereas the government and the public sector were only showcasing fairly balanced distribution of men and women. In 2023, it's 49.7%, whereas it was 50% in 2022. Industries like oil and gas and mining and infrastructure saw the least participation in female workforce, whereas it's a little bit good in administrative, entertainment, retail, real estate, accommodation, and in the financial services. Can we please move on? However, also, when we move on with positions, we see that as we move on, the parity or the average share of women drops down highly in the workforce. So global data provided by LinkedIn shows that women representation account for 41.9% in the workforce across all industries. The gap is shown where senior contributors show or for 44%. When we reach the C-suite, we are only at 25.4%. At a VP level, we are at 28.3%. At a director level, we are at 36.8%. And at a managerial even level, we are at 35.5%. These are all caused by issues that were discussed earlier in the panel talks and the keynotes. Moving forward. MENA region. Let's look at our MENA region. We remain at 62.6 parity score with UAE and Bahrain highest parity in the region. Morocco, Oman, and Algeria rank the lowest. And the most populous countries, Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, register declines in their parity scores. The continuous efforts are needed to address disparities and promote gender equality in economic, educational, health, and political domains. And let's move on to the other. So I'll just cite some things. In economic participation and opportunity, for example, we have a 44% parity score and 31 points. Look at the difference between ranges, 31% to 69% almost. So we have uneven progress among countries. Can we please move on? Okay, in educational attainment, however, 95.9 is the parity score. We have 7 countries which have achieved parity in the secondary education, and in the higher education, 10 countries have achieved parity. Can we move on? Overall, the health and survival is 96.4% parity and perfect parity in all countries except Qatar in sex ratio at birth. Please, can we move on? We remain very low in political empowerment with an overall of 14%. We have notable progress in Bahrain, Kuwait, and Lebanon, where female parliamentary position increased in Bahrain, Kuwait, and Lebanon, while ministerial female position are more than less than 20%. They are less than 20% everywhere. Only with Morocco more than 20%. And unfortunately, female heads of states in the last 50 years, only we have had Tunisia who had a head of state. Please, can we move on? Advancing women employment could add 12 trillion to global GDP and boost some countries' economic output by as much as 35%. According to the 2022 Gender Gap Report, it will take 151 years to close economic gender gaps, which means that we will not survive to see this, and which means that we really need to work on everything that has been said earlier in order to achieve our parity or gender parity in the near future, at least with our kids. Please, can we move on? Move on. Move on, please. Next slide. Again, next slide. And I'm going to go quickly. Let's reaffirm our goals to close our commitment to advancing gender equality and empowering women in all spheres of life by investing in women, not only promoting social justice and equality, but also unlocking untapped potential and drive inclusive economic growth. As we celebrate this International Women's Day, let's remember that gender equality is not just a woman's issue, it's a fundamental human right and a pathway to a brighter and more prosperous future for all. By unlocking the full potential of women and girls, we can unleash a wave of economic growth, innovation, prosperity that will benefit us all. So let us commit ourselves today to take bold and decisive action to empower women, not just on International Women's Day, but every day of the year. Together, we can build a brighter, more inclusive future for generations to come. Please move on. So, enabling women participation in the labor force, closing the gender wage gap, advancing women into leadership and management roles, and hardwiring gender parity in the future of work. I wish you all a happy International Women's Day and a happy day of the year where women are really empowered. Have a lovely day. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tamara. It was amazing hearing your thoughts. Beyond the economic and societal benefits, educating women is a matter of basic human rights. It provides them with the tools to challenge stereotypes, break barriers, and pursue their aspirations. In doing so, we not only empower individual women, but also enrich the fabric of our global community. So now, let us investigate how proper mentorship will impact women's educational empowerment. Here is a workshop coming for you on the topic, Role of Mentorship in Women's Educational Empowerment. May I invite Ms. Salma Kanan to host the session. Ms. Salma Kanan is a self-driven leader with excellent communication and interpersonal skills. She is highly passionate about collaborating with all levels of staff members and fosters quality relationships. Thank you, Ms. Salma.
Hi, everyone. A very good day to everyone, and I hope we're all gonna have a lovely celebration here just to celebrate the International Women's Day. So we are here to shed light on a topic of utmost importance. We are going to talk about the significance of educational empowerment for women. Education has the power to transform lives, break down barriers, and pave the way for personal and professional development. Today, we will discover the impact of education on women and the crucial role of mentorship in this journey. Understanding the significance of educational empowerment for women. Education is the cornerstone of personal and professional development. It is the key that unlocks doors and empowers women to reach their full potential. The impact of education goes beyond the classroom, shaping character, instilling confidence, and fostering resilience. For instance, approximately 20% of the UAE's peaceful nuclear energy program comprises of women who hold pivotal roles spanning across engineering, operations, nuclear safety, and various technical fields. The Emirates Nuclear Energy Corporation has remained committed to advancing Emirati women, positioning them prominently in the UAE's pursuit of net zero by 2050. Mentorship in women's education. Mentorship plays a leading role in educational empowerment, providing guidance and support to navigate the complexities of academic and professional life. Both formal and informal mentorship relationships offer valuable assistance to women in their educational journeys. Let's look at the benefits of mentorship in educational empowerment. Mentorship extends a helping hand, offering academic support, career guidance, and skill development. It builds confidence and resilience, crucial qualities for success in any field. Today, we will explore these benefits and explore how mentorship can be a catalyst for women's advancement. Prominent women, I'm going to share a few success stories. Let's take a moment to celebrate the achievements of remarkable women who have thrived through educational empowerment. Their stories highlight the transformative impact of education and underscore the vital role of mentors, how it plays in the shaping of these success stories. So let's have a look together. Let's look at the prominent women success stories. This is taken from Forbes Middle East. So Forbes Middle East has unveiled its signature annual list of the region's most powerful businesswomen for 2024, ranking the most successful, influential, and impactful women in business, championing the way to a brighter, fairer future. The list was constructed based on the size of the business, the individual's impact, achievements, and performance over the last year, the scope of CSR, and other initiatives led by the person. Hana Al-Rustamani, Group CEO of First Abu Dhabi Bank, leads the list for the second consecutive year. She was also recognized on Forbes' list for the World's Most Powerful Women 2023. Ranked at 63 overall, the 14th in the finance category globally. Two Kuwaiti powerhouses, NBK Group's Sheikha Khalid Al-Bahar and KNPC's Wadha Ahmed Al-Khatib round up the top three. The 2024 list, 100 entries with 104 women from 27 sectors and 28 different nationalities. Egyptians dominate with 17 women, followed by 14 Emiratis, and Saudis and Lebanese with 9 women each. Leaders in banking and financial services make up over a quarter of the ranking with 26 entries, followed by healthcare with 13, and investments and technology with 6 entries each. A wave of 35 newcomers have joined this year's list from 15 different sectors. Next slide. We are going to talk about prominent women success stories. 3 industry titans broke into the top 10 for the first time. Dana Nasser Al-Sabah, Group CEO of Kuwait Projects Company. Shazia Sayed, Unilever's General Manager, North Africa, Levant, and Iraq and Arabia, Senior Customer Development Lead. Reem Assad, Cisco's Vice President, Middle East, Africa, Turkey, Romania, and the Commonwealth of Independent States. Of the top 10 ranked women, 50% work within the banking and financial services industry. And 2 Pakistani trailblazers represent the region's non-Arab diverse senior leadership. In Porsche Middle East's latest campaign, titled Drive Defines Her, the spotlight falls on Dr. Engineer Suad Al-Shamsi, the trailblazing first female Emirati aircraft engineer who leads the charge in aviation and spearheads numerous high-profile projects across the Gulf region. Dr. Suad Al-Shamsi is unshakable in her advice to other young women aspiring to make strides in a male-dominant industry. She says, and I quote, "If you can dream it, you can achieve it." Now, let's look at the types of mentorship programs. So we have formal mentorship programs in educational institutes, community-based initiatives, and vital opportunities cater to diverse needs. We will explore the different types of mentorship programs and their effectiveness in supporting women in their educational pursuits. Let's look at the types of mentorship programs. So over 77% of Emirati women enroll in higher education after secondary school and actually make up 70% of all university graduates in the UAE. Notably, 61% of university graduates in the scientific fields are women. Once finished with their university education, women in the UAE have near limitless employment options ahead of them. Many of them choose to work in the STEM fields to contribute to the country's development in advanced fields such as artificial intelligence, robotics, and industrial technology. When Emirati women look around, they constantly see female representation that encourages them on their path. In fact, 55.5% of members of the Emirati Scientists' Council are women. 34% of the Emirates Mars mission team was comprised of women, and women made up 70% of the team behind the UAE astronaut program, which produced the UAE's first astronaut. When women are educated and engaged in work, overall metrics concerning their empowerment in society also improves. That is why the UAE ranked first in the Arab world and 18th globally in the UN Development Programme 2020 Gender Equality Index. Next slide. Types of mentorship programs. Ultimately, the UAE is working to ensure the provision of education to women and girls to support the fourth goal of the UN Sustainable Development Goals 2030 agenda, which aims to ensure inclusive and equitable education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. While the country explores additional efforts to shift the balance in favor of women and girls pursuing education and a promising future in STEM fields, it has set in motion many initiatives to ensure women can stand at the forefront of national progress and scientific advancement, investing in girls by ensuring equal access to education and employment is vital to inspiring and engaging all women in a lifelong journey of empowerment and lasting change in society. Let's look at the qualities of good mentor and mentee. Now, we all know that having a mentor in your life actually is an important factor to your success. So, initiating and nurturing mentor-mentee relationship. Finding the right mentor or mentee is crucial. We will explore strategies for initiating these relationships and establishing effective communication and rapport. So, initiating and nurturing mentor-mentee relationships. As we celebrate the achievements and contributions of women across the globe, it is vital to acknowledge the power of mentorship in fostering educational growth and empowerment. Today, I want to highlight the qualities that make a good mentor and mentee, recognizing their combined impact on shaping a brighter and more equitable future for women and education. So let's begin by understanding the essence of mentorship and its significance. Mentorship is not just a professional relationship. It is a bond that transcends more guidance. It is a commitment to nurturing talent, fostering growth, and creating a supportive environment where women can thrive academically, personally, and professionally. This is very important because this sheds light on the different factors that we have in our lives. And it actually speaks more about the importance of mentorship and the relationship that it has. So let me here take a minute just to highlight what makes a good mentor. What are qualities that make a person a good mentor? So let's think back and look. What, in your opinion, makes a good mentor? Why do I go to this person and why do I consider this person to be a good mentor? So, qualities of a good mentor. Let's see. A good mentor should have empathy. So, a good mentor should be empathetic. What does that mean? It means that they are able to understand and share in the feelings of their mentee. Empathy lays the foundation for a trusting and open relationship, creating a safe space for learning and development. What are other aspects of a good mentor? A quality of a good mentor should also be active listening. So the ability to actively listen is paramount. A good mentor pays close attention, absorbs the mentee's concerns, and responds thoughtfully. So this fosters communication and ensures that guidance is tailored to the specific needs of the individual. Like on a personal level, I remember a good mentor that I had in my personal life. A good mentor that I had actually had attended an event, a global event at that time. And I can remember, and I quote, she said, you know, Selma, if you want to be a good, successful person in any field, you should think globally and act locally. Okay, what did she mean when she said that? Think globally. Think globally, meaning on a global level, there are a lot of things that go on. Act locally. How would I act locally? Okay, I obviously am here in my local background and in my local field. So when she said those words, it actually shed light on very important aspects and it helped me progress in my field. Okay, more qualities to actually highlight here. Experience and expertise. A mentor should possess relevant experience and expertise in the mentee's field of interest. This knowledge sharing is instrumental in guiding the mentee through challenges, providing insights, and offering valuable advice based on real-world experiences. Another quality of a good mentor is they should be supportive and encouraging. So a good mentor is a cheerleader, offering unwavering support and encouragement. This positive reinforcement boosts the mentee's confidence, motivating them to overcome obstacles and strive for excellence. Remember, we all work better when we have a positive mental attitude. We always should be motivated to reach our utmost goals. Other qualities of a good mentor include constructive feedback. Constructive criticism is a key aspect of mentorship. A mentor should provide feedback that is constructive, helping the mentee learn and grow. This creates a culture of continuous improvement and resilience. Think back and relate to good constructive feedback. When was I given personally constructive feedback? I can recall maybe the last quarter, the last year, or the last annual attainment that I went through. So let me think back and think of the feedback I received. Now, for me personally, in order for me to grow and develop, I should take constructive feedback and act upon it. Why is this important? Because once I'm relating my feedback and building it to become constructive, I'm actually developing further and I'm acting on constructive feedback. This is very important. both, by the way, on a personal, individual level and on a company's level. This is why we always look for feedback in order to find room for growth and development. Other good qualities of a mentor are commitment and availability. So, mentorship is a commitment. A good mentor dedicates time and effort to the relationship, ensuring consistent guidance and support. Availability, both physically and emotionally, is crucial for building a strong mentor-mentee connection. Other qualities of a good mentor: diversity and inclusion. So, a crucial aspect of mentorship in women's educational empowerment is promoting diversity and inclusion. A good mentor recognizes the importance of diverse perspectives and backgrounds, fostering an environment where women from all walks of life feel included and supported. By embracing diversity, we do not only enrich the educational experience, but we also contribute to a more vibrant and equitable academic community. Another important quality is networking opportunities. We know how valuable networking is in our day and age. So networking is actually very important. Mentorship goes beyond individual guidance. It opens doors to networking opportunities. A good mentor introduces their mentee to relevant networks, professionals, and resources, creating a pathway for career advancement. Networking is a powerful tool that can exponentially enhance educational and professional prospects for women. Other qualities of a good mentor: they should be a good role model. So, role modeling. The significance of role modeling in mentorship cannot be overstated. A good mentor serves as a role model, exemplaring qualities such as leadership, resilience, and integrity. Through the mentorship, its mentor and mentee relationship, women gain not only knowledgeable, but also inspiration to lead. So they actually offer us more important aspects. They should also be good in community building. Mentorship has potential to foster a sense of community among women in education. A good mentor encouraging collaboration and exchange of ideas among mentees.
Oh, thank you.
Magic box off.
Yes.
Sorry, Salma. It's good now. Thank you.
You are very welcome. So, back to community building. This community building aspect is crucial for women to share experiences, challenges, and successes, collectively working towards a more empowered future. Additional qualities of a good mentor are adaptability in the digital age. So in today's digital age, educational landscapes are evolving rapidly. A good mentor recognizes the importance of adaptability and helps their mentees navigate the challenges of the digital world. From online learning platforms to remote collaboration, mentorship equips women with the skills and insights needed to thrive in an ever-changing educational environment. Another quality of a good mentor is advocacy for women in education. So, mentorship is not only about personal growth, but also about advocating for systematic change. A good mentor encouraging their mentees to become advocates for women in education, inspiring them to challenge stereotypes, promote inclusivity, and actively contribute to creating environments where every woman can excel without barriers. Also, they have to look on the global perspective. How do we look on the global perspective? The impact of mentorship extends globally. A good mentor broadens the horizons of their mentee, exposing them to global perspectives and encouraging a mindset that transcends geographical boundaries. This global outlook is instrumental in preparing women for leadership roles in an interconnected world. Additional qualities of a good mentor, they should be open to learning. Okay, now let's shift from the qualities of a global mentor to the qualities of a good mentee. So you are the mentee looking at the mentor. How should you be? What should you have? So here you need to be open to learning. A good mentee approaches the mentorship with an eagerness to learn. So when I'm looking at my mentor, I shouldn't just only look for qualities of a good mentor. On the other hand, I should myself have important qualities at hand. One of my important qualities are that I am actually open to learn. We are receptive to new ideas, perspectives, and guidance, demonstrating a genuine interest in my own growth. What are other things that I should have as a good mentee? Another good thing is initiative. Taking initiative is key to a successful mentor-mentee relationship. So a good mentee actively seeks advice, sets goals, and takes steps towards achieving them. Initiative fosters a proactive approach to personal and educational development. More qualities of a good mentee, they should actually have resilience. So challenges are inevitable, but a good mentee displays resilience in the face of adversity. They learn from setbacks. They adapt to change and use difficulties as opportunities for growth. They should also have effective communication. Clear and effective communication is essential for a fruitful mentorship. A good mentee articulates their goals, concerns, and progress, facilitating a more accurate and tailored guidance from the mentor. So as you can see, this is actually an interactive role within our mentors actually play a good role, and in our turn, we need to also be eager to learn. So let's talk about why we should have a positive mental attitude. Why do you think it's important for us to have a positive mental attitude? I believe this is very important because when you have a positive mental attitude, you are actually able to overcome challenges. You are listening and communicating equally and effectively. And this relates to a very, very good relationship between both the mentor and the mentee. Other qualities of a good mentee. Here, this is something that I spoke about. Appreciation for feedback. So here, I don't actually just take feedback and just lay it aside. Here, I need to act and actually develop further. So I consider feedback to be something that I need to work on in order to overcome my weaknesses or overcome any obstacles that come my way. So what do? I get my feedback. Now I have it. What do I have to do with it? Step 1, I have to identify it. Step 2, I have to work on methods to improve it. Work on methods to develop myself. So appreciation for feedback. So just as a good mentor provides constructive feedback, a good mentee appreciates and acts upon it. Feedback is a valuable tool for improvement, and a mentee's willingness to accept and apply it is a sign of maturity and commitment to growth. Now, another important thing is goal setting. A good mentee sets realistic and achievable goals. This proactive approach not only guides the mentor in providing relevant support, but also empowers the mentee to take charge of their own educational journey. Okay, in conclusion, in wrapping up, the extended exploration of mentorship in women's educational empowerment underscores its multi-faced nature. As we embrace diversity, leverage networking opportunities, and foster a sense of community, we propel women towards success, not only in their individual pursuit, but also as catalysts for positive change on a broader scale. So remember, here we are talking on a global scale, and there are different things that we can do in our daily life to empower women. We are talking about the mentor and mentee relationship. This is key, and we should also take the upper hand in building more communication and relationships as we grow. Let us recommit ourselves to the transformative power of mentorship, recognizing that by investing in the education and empowerment of women, we are laying the foundation for a more equitable, inclusive, and prosperous future for all. Thank you so much. Thank you for your attention, and may our collective efforts continue to shape a world where every woman's educational journey is marked by empowerment and excellence. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. And back to you. Thank you so much. Thank you, and wishing you all the very best.
Thank you, Ms. Salma. It was truly wonderful and informative. So, as we come to the end of the sessions, it has become more evident that embracing and advancing the empowerment of women is an investment in a brighter, more equitable, and sustainable future for everyone. I am so happy to see so many of you smiling faces right now. And before we end today's program, we have a very important event coming up. As you all know, Blue Ocean Corporation is a leading conglomerate in the Middle East region, operating in 3 main verticals, with conferences being one among them. So today, we have the launch of 3 upcoming conferences from our flagship event, which is the IPSC, International Procurement and Supply Chain Conference. So, may I invite Ms. Noba, the head of events and conferences at Blue Ocean Corporation, to introduce the event.
Hello everyone, very good afternoon and tons of gratitude for your active participation in the session today. Blue Ocean Conferences has garnered wide appreciation for organizing smart and impactful events like the International Procurement and Supply Chain Conference, International Human Resource Conference, and Blue Ocean Women's Leadership Development, which provide an excellent base for the union of strong leadership and nurturing of new developmental ideas. The International Procurement and Supply Chain Conference, primarily known as IPSC, is a flagship event by Blue Ocean Corporation, primarily targeted towards the development and expansion of global supply chain community. IPSC is a gathering of thought leaders, promising talents, and experts from a global landscape to overcome challenges and enable every unit of the supply chain industry to thrive and flourish freely. We are truly excited to let you know that we have a series of IPSC conferences lined up for the year, and I'm privileged to introduce them to you. To start with, we have the first IPSC for the year happening at Field Fisher, London on the 30th of April. The London conference is themed on supply chain transformation using SCORE framework. In June, the IPSC will be set against the backdrop of Mumbai, the financial capital of India. IPSC 2024 Mumbai will take place on June 1st and 2nd at Taj Lands End Hotel, Mumbai. The conference will focus on the theme India Tomorrow, Economic Supremacy Through Global Supply Chain Transformation. The event on the 1st of June will be followed by a global buyer-seller meet on 2nd of June. Over to the screen for the video.
Blue Ocean Corporation, in association with Crescendo Worldwide, presents International Procurement and Supply Chain Conference 2024. On the theme, India Tomorrow, Economic Supremacy Through Supply Chain Transformation. 1st June 2024, Taj Lands End, Mumbai. A global platform for supply chain and procurement leaders to meet, connect and share insights. 2nd June, the Global Buyer-Seller Meet to forge partnerships that surpasses boundaries. 400 plus delegates, 200 plus organizations, senior professionals to attend from diverse industries like construction, textiles, manufacturing, food and beverage, pharmaceuticals, logistics and shipping, agriculture, oil and gas, healthcare. Networking for unlocking possibilities, exploring new strategies for growth, sharing industry insights.
I am delighted to welcome you all to the 6th International Procurement and Supply Chain Conference 2021, presented by Blue Ocean Conferences.
This is a historic day.
I would like to welcome all of you to the International Human Resource Conference.
To register, visit www.blueoceanconferences.com. Think supply chain, think Blue Ocean.
All right, and towards the last quarter of the year, we will
Blue
host
Ocean Corporation
in New Delhi, which is the capital city of India. The event will take place on the 5th and 6th October this year. In all our upcoming IPSC events, we have a list of top industry experts lined up as speakers. The International Procurement and Supply Chain Conference is purely a non-profit initiative by Blue Ocean Corporation, and we aim at strengthening the global procurement and supply chain community. We hope to have all your support and cooperation for all our upcoming events. Thank you and happy International Women's Day in advance.
Woohoo! So fingers crossed for the upcoming IPSC. So here comes an end to BOWLD 5. Thank you very much to everyone. I invite Dr. Amal Hagag to deliver the vote of thanks.
Hello, everybody. Good
Hello.
afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon.
Very happy.
Good afternoon.
Yes, Melissa. Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
A very happy Women's Day to you all. Ladies, I hope you all had a fantastic experience. We would love to hear your thoughts, but since we are pressed of time, it would be great if you could come up with your responses in the chat box. It's with immense gratitude and appreciation that I stand before you today, representing all those who have been part of this extraordinary event. What a remarkable gathering of brilliant minds and empowering spirits. On behalf of Blue Ocean Corporation and all the incredible women who have contributed their time, expertise, enthusiasm, I extend a heartfelt thanks. First and foremost, our deepest appreciation goes to each speaker and panelist who graced us with their insights, expertise, and passion. Your words have not only enlightened us, but have sparked the flame that will continue to burn brightly in our hearts and minds. Your presence has been the driving force behind the success of this event. To our incredible audience, both near and far, thank you for your active participation, even on a weekday. Your presence has turned this virtual space into a vibrant community where ideas flowed freely and connections were forged. Your enthusiasm fueled our determination to continue advocating for women's empowerment. A special thanks to Dr. Statia Menon, Mr. Abdulaziz, and Mr. Muhammad Al-Ali, whose unwavering support made this virtual gathering possible. Your commitment to empowering women and fostering inclusivity is truly commendable. We are honored to have you as allies in our journey towards creating a more equal and diverse world. A sincere appreciation for our technical team, without whom this virtual event would not have been possible. Your behind-the-scenes dedication ensured seamless connectivity, smooth transition, and an overall enriching experience for all participants. Lastly, to the organizing team who worked tirelessly to orchestrate every detail of this event, your dedication has been nothing short of inspiring. Your commitment to creating a platform that celebrates and uplifts women is evident in every aspect of this gathering. In closing, let us carry the momentum from this event forward. May the idea shared, connections made, and discussions sparked serve as catalysts for positive change. Together, we are a force to be reckoned with, and supporting and empowering each other. We pave the way for a brighter, more inclusive future. Before concluding, may I remind you all that the link to submit your reviews is shared in the chat box. Kindly let us and the world know about your thoughts on the event. You can also share your feedback by scanning the QR code that is appearing on the screen. We have also shared the feedback request with your thoughts. The email, kindly respond to the same as well. Upon filling it, you will receive your participation e-certificate. We also request you to post the same on your social media handles for better reach using the hashtag Blue Ocean Corporation, hashtag Blue Ocean Academy, hashtag BOWLD. Thank you all once again for being part of this incredible journey. Until we meet again, let's continue to uplift, inspire, and empower. Once again, happy International Women's Day. Thank you.
So once again, thank you, Dr. Amal.
You're welcome,
Thank
Melissa.
you. Excellent. Thank you very much to everyone for joining us for BOWLD 5. Let us all hopefully wait for the 6th edition of BOWLD, and we hope for all of your participation. Once again, a very happy International Women's Day to all the beautiful ladies out there. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Wishing you a very happy Women's Day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Happy Women's Day in advance.
Lovely gathering and happy International Women's Day.
For having us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy International Women's Day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone. Happy Women's Day and have a lovely weekend. Thank you for joining us with BOWLD 5 and see you all next year. Thank you.
So much. You're welcome.
Thank you.